Don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
It's the problem no one wants to talk about, the middle child of driver safety. In the time of doing everything, 3 screens and a surround sound symphony sending you somewhere sunny, driving takes a back seat to swiping and replying. And while you're eating and taking a sip from your drink, more than 14% shooting and injury crashes are being caused by distracted driving. This is distracted driving for real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome into 6 p.m. in Lincoln with former Nebraska linebacker Chris Kolarevic. Intercepted! Ball game over! Picked off by Chris Kolarevic! This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's up? Is my mic on? Testing. We got it working. All right, we got Jojo Domann in the studio. This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln. I'm Chris Kolarevic. What's up, Jojo?
Man, keep the beat on.
Keep the beat on the whole show? We should keep on the whole show, just freestyle.
I'm just playing. What's up, baby? It's good to be on.
Hey, we're glad to have you. Lincoln's glad to have you. Hey, where are you coming at us from? You in Austin, you said?
Man, we're out in Austin, Texas for the moment.
Okay, I can see you when I turn around. I might turn around a couple times in the show just so I can see you. I'm just looking at the camera when I look forward. Right. So Austin. All right, so in case, you know what, everybody in Lincoln should know Jojo Domann, but in case you don't, Colorado Springs native, played here for 6 years, All-American, many honors, all Big Ten, signed undrafted to the Colts, played for the Colts, played for the Titans, and now I'd love if you could give everybody an update on what's going on with Jojo in 2025.
Man, I'm still out here, still doing the thing. Came down here to Arlington, actually, after suffering a back injury in training camp with the Titans this past August. So came down here healthy. Been also going through a position change. I understood after I left Nebraska going into the league that what got me here isn't going to keep me here. So I started learning long snapper. From Luke Rhodes when I was with the Colts, Morgan Cox when I was with the Titans. And I've really taken this thing to where I snap at a high level now and had the opportunity to come down, play linebacker, snap some footballs between my legs here in the UFL. Man, had a great time. Got to play for a great team in Skip Holtz, and it just they ended up releasing me. So all things aside, I'm just flowing with nature, baby. Like, come over to Austin. We got great community over here in Austin. And I'm on to the next, continuing to move forward and really just taking all the signs as they come. and trying to enjoy myself.
Just still moving forward. That's all you can do.
Always.
So I want to talk about. I want you to kind of dive into over the years and as you've moved from place to place, gone from place to place, how your mindset and how you've evolved as a person from those stops. Because I know one quote that you love that you always talk about is adversity introduces a man to himself. Talk about that and talk about how that's evolved as you've gone from Nebraska to Indianapolis to Tennessee to Austin. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Adversity does introduce a man to himself in the sense of when you're confronted with what you didn't expect, what you weren't planning on, or even parts of yourself that you're not fully aware of or familiar with or comfortable with. Like the adversity, the obstacle, the thing, the person, the experience, the circumstance, like whatever it is serving as a reflection to an internal experience and seemingly pointing to some internal experience that is tied to the external one. So over my years in the NFL, since leaving Nebraska, I've really just allowed and really trusted my internal compass to really guide me and, live my life in a way where I can enjoy the ride and I'm not trying to control everything. And I'm also doing everything in my control to apply myself, to assert myself, to create the things I want to create, to be in the relationships I want to be in. And it's been a really good ride so far.
It is a fun ride. Life, I enjoy life. I enjoy being alive. I enjoy waking up every day, seeing what's going to happen. Um, I enjoy, me and Step talked about this last week. The whole idea of when you're in those adverse times, when you're in those hard circumstances, there's nothing else. It's like you're stripped down to really who you are, and you have to look yourself in the mirror. Because a lot of times during those adversity times, you have to see parts of yourself that you don't necessarily like. You have to see parts of yourself that were hidden because you were having success or things were easy or things were smooth. And then you're stripped down to this version of yourself that you may not even like, something that and you have to do things or be a person that you didn't even know you were before, and it forces you to see that. And when you go through those things, especially at a young age, it forces you to really understand who you are early on.
No doubt.
All right, so in Austin, what's going on in Austin? Is the weather any good down there?
Yeah, it's great down here. Honestly, the
Yeah,
sun's out. I was
real
trying to
up
take
and
this
down.
call outside, but the traffic was raining on the parade. We're down
Always
here. It's,
traffic.
it's really the community. Like I truly believe you are who you surround yourself with,
Agree.
and the people down here are phenomenal and are my type of vibe in the sense of the people I'm surrounding myself with. Like it's pretty general.
Mhm.
But there's some really amazing people down here, some solopreneurs that collaborate that are really creating special things that are in like the somatic fields, that are in the philanthropy fields, that are in uh, just all things like service, giving back, like the greater good. Um,
Is there
it's,
anything you
it's
want to plug while you're on here at Eons?
yeah, man. I guess the thing that I'm building out right now is right. So like when this opportunity with the UFL has seemingly like closed, I really took that as, the universe and God telling me, like, okay, this other aspect though that you've been delaying on in the name of playing. So now that I'm not playing, like I really have this heart to use my experience and educate, guide, and service other people in theirs. I feel like through my experience, through my injuries, through getting to the top of a mountain multiple times, thinking that was exactly what I wanted, and realizing at the top it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it was, and over and over and over again. And the invitation and the thing that I'm building out is a concept where like the mountain is you, where ultimately you go from a victim in your life to a creator of your life. And how do we do that? And that's the beautiful thing that football has taught me about life and the relationship I've built with God through the act of worship, through football. Like it's all an act of devotion if we allow it to be.
Mhm.
Like the concept that it's all divine or none of it's divine. and it's all divine. So just using whatever our art is, whatever our authentic expression is, which as a conscious athlete is just being an athlete. Like we're all born to move, we're all born to play. So it's all about redefining what it is to be a human being, what it is to be an athlete, and what it is we really want. So we can create the life from a place of abundance, from our creator energy. Because when we want something, we're energetically declaring that we don't have it. So it's about rewiring our brain, rewiring our nervous system, literally teaching ourselves how to coming back to the present moment where our creator energy, where's God and source like meets us. And whatever's true, whatever's authentic, naturally presents itself in true presence, rather than a story of who we think we are and what we think we're supposed to do that just creates more and more lack because it's coming from a place of lack. So when you create from a place of lack, you create lack. When you create from a place of abundance, you will create abundance because you are abundant. You know, it's the concept Joe Dispenza calls, not don't pray for the thing like you need it. Like pray as if it's already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And walk away from that prayer healed. Walk away from that prayer better. Walk away with that breath of hope and inspiration that you just prayed for. Like
Like
step into it.
move as if you already are that person. I think
Yes.
that one thing that I have noticed and in the past how I've approached things is once I get this, then I'll be that person. Once I get this offer or I get this or I end up in this situation, then I'll be that person and then I can show up as that person. But in reality, the only way to get that thing that you want is to already be that thing and then it comes to you.
Exactly. I mean, we're all just big kids. And Rummy said it very well. He said the highest form of learning is unlearning.
Mhm.
So
That's
oftentimes, like we learn based off of our environment, based off of the conditions, based off our predicament,
yeah.
and find like complete and total acceptance for that is the first step, which is really hard. Which means we have to forgive everyone, everything, including ourselves, which truly is a spiritual practice. And people who are unwilling to really confront like the spiritual essence of it all, and it can like God, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, like whatever you want to call it, like, but if you're unwilling to confront the unknown and the what's not in your control and know that it's in something's control and have faith in a creator that all things are connected, like it becomes really hard to like actually create sustainable growth and change in our life, and everything just becomes change for the fad of it that always ends up dwindling and being just not enough.
I feel like the only real change that is good is if you're changing more into yourself. And really, like you said, that's unlearning.
Mm.
Unlearning these things that you've been conditioned where as kids, it's almost like we're born perfect and we're born with these great instincts on how to do things and how to navigate this world as ourselves. And then through school, through different situations, we're conditioned to act a certain way and we're conditioned to think a certain way and do this and that. But as time goes on, we're able to discard and let go of those things that have been conditioned into us and kind of get back to being more of that kid that had those real instincts that are really who he is or really who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, that unlearning is interesting because I do think that as kids we are in a way perfect. We may not have the knowledge,
Mm.
we may not have the knowledge, but we have the right instincts. We understand how things work. And I think and I started working with I've been doing this coaching thing for a couple weeks now and it's my first coaching job. Excited about it. And I said this last week, but I'm honestly learning more from them than they're learning from me. I'm seeing these kids who I'm around 18, 19, 17-year-old kids, and I'm watching how they move, and these kids are smart. Like, kids are smart, and it's like we almost make them less smart by putting more into their heads and making them do certain things or think certain ways when and a lot of times just their natural who they are is better than anything you could ever make them into.
Yeah, bro, that's a bar. And I couldn't agree more. It's, I want to just like provide evidence to support that, which is, I think one of them is like our body's natural intelligence, how like our body naturally heals itself, like without even trying.
Hmm.
And then when it does need support, like, the best support is from the earth. And 90% of the pharmaceutical drugs are synthetic compounds like that are copycatted from plants in the Amazon. So, I mean, everything comes back to us being one with nature, our bodies being intelligent, more than just a tool, and it really having codes and guides for like our truth, our authentic expression, like what we're here to do.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really is the vehicle for our soul's evolution here on planet Earth.
Agreed. I know you mentioned, I want to talk about this. I know you mentioned you had some injuries. To me, yes, injuries are physical, but whether it's an ACL or a pimple on your face, you have acne. I think that all physical ailments somehow stem from the mind. They all stem from some sort of misconstruct or something that's going on in the mind where something's off, whether it's your environment, whether it's your way of thinking, whether it's a relationship or relationships or people that you're around or situation that you're in. There's something off about how you're living your life, and it manifests itself in that injury. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, from my experience, it seems to be that way, which is a harsh reality to
It
accept.
is, and it's hard to grasp that, I think, when you're younger. I think it's something that's hard to grasp because you have a knee, and it's like you wanna watch the film and see how you tore your knee. But really, it's when I look back on I had 3 major foot surgeries, I had a collarbone, I had knee issues, I had all sorts of problems, and I look back on them, and I see the mental headspace that I was in when I did those things, and I kind of know exactly why those things happened. And it wasn't just the fact that my knee got hit by somebody, it was the fact that my mind wasn't in a place to be able to be healthy.
Sure. The next level of that is that you chose that for yourself. Is that
Agreed.
right? Like the victim's like, I created that. Like,
Mhm,
the grief, all that I went through, you know? But then the soul's like, this is the curriculum for our evolution.
mhm.
And I chose that. And when you can like accept it from that embodied place, then it becomes fuel and gas in the tank
Right.
to keep moving.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
It does become fuel because I do think that the soul knows where it wants to go. Like, we have this some sort of destiny, we have this thing we have this direction or place that we wanna go or where we wanna get to naturally, instinctually, and our bodies and minds kind of take ourselves there instinctually, and that sometimes is through injuries where we need that injury for some reason in order to get to where we wanna go.
precisely. Yeah, no, the butterfly effect, the domino effect, like it's hard to say what's a good thing or a bad thing. You can't snapshot time and label it like altogether as absolute. Like that was good. You know,
Yeah, you
I
can't.
remember one time at the pro football camp that you've been out to, um, out in Sea Springs. I just felt called. We were signing autographs, and I looked at a little girl who I was talking with, and I asked her like, Why do bad things happen to good people?"
You asked her that or she asked you that?
I asked her that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I was like, "Why do bad things happen to good people?" And she looks at me and she goes, "Well, good things must come from bad things." And I was just like,
Kids are wise. Kids
"It's
are
that
wise.
simple.
Kids are wiser than us.
It is that simple."
It is.
But we get so caught up, and yeah, like, yeah, we're energetic beings for real. Like, this is an like every like this is an energetic universe. Like 99% of the things happening all the time, we cannot perceive. And what we do perceive, we're very responsible for creating. So we really are in this predicament of like being these, primitive, you know, human beings, but also having this cosmic consciousness that isn't ours but flows through us. And seemingly we have access to this concept and idea of infinity, of God, of eternity, of love. Like we have, but all those things are just concepts in the mind for this deep internal state of, I'll call it presence. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of presence.
Yeah.
That like only you for yourself, when you're there, can know. And then
Mm-hmm.
presence, true presence, goes from experiencing it in these transitory states of the sun hitting your face at the perfect time, or you seeing the sign right on the wall, or right somebody speaking straight to your soul, right? Presence, true presence becomes a habitual openness, a disposition, accepting all things all the time,
Mm-hmm. That.
anchored in humility,
Mm-hmm. Open to all
anchored in
things.
humility.
Open to all things. I think that's an important statement, because I think, like we were talking about, as you grow and you get older, you're taught this is what you need to pay attention to. This is what you need to do. Where true presence comes from, you're seeing everything. You're open to everything. You don't necessarily have to bring it in, but you see everything and you notice everything.
Yeah,
And that's where kids naturally do that. Kids naturally are very aware, because they're not in their heads thinking about what should I be doing, what shouldn't I be doing. Kids are open. They're paying attention. They're exploring the world. They're figuring out where everything's at, what everything's doing. And they haven't yet been programmed to ignore or see certain things.
yep, exactly. No, I love this question. Like, what is consciousness?
Consciousness, I think it depends on what angle you're coming at it from. Like what part of,
Fair.
like
I
like self-awareness. We got to, hey, come on. I forgot to introduce, I have an intern named Brihan, and he said, he answered, he said self-awareness.
Is that like what you're referring to, Jojo?
Yeah, most definitely. All the above.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I have a little exercise that I learned to help kind of clear the space on this question. So when you close your eyes and you keep your mouth shut and you tell yourself hello, go on, keep saying it. Say it a little louder. Now stop. Open your eyes. Not only were you able to say hello without opening your mouth, but you're able to hear it with nothing going in your ears. The one the one who hears is who we really are. Like that's consciousness. The one who observes, the observer of the observer.
Mm-hmm.
There's just levels to it. And the farther back we go, we can just sit and experience the happening unfold from this place of love, of centeredness, of groundedness, of compassion, of grace, of mercy, of joy, right? Just true optimism, unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about unconditional love. It's like, it's unconditional. It's
Mm-hmm.
like nothing's too much for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's too much.
And
Unconditional love says that too.
it's giving without the expectation of receiving anything back.
Absolutely. And it casts everything in. It casts everything in. And that's a hard thing to also comprehend when we grew up. I mean, I grew up, learning a doctrine that kind of twisted that and said that, this unconditionally loving God like only loves you and only has a good place for you, kind of based on these conditions,
Mm-hmm. Well, I went to
you know,
Catholic school. I went to
but that's
Catholic
for your
school.
best.
I know all those conditions.
So it does go back to what Remy said about how the highest form of learning becomes unlearning. And like, how do we become independent thinkers for ourselves? Most people are just grown babies. Like most people's energetic bodies are trapped from the age of 5 to 12, looping in whatever traumatic, unconscious event now that is playing itself out in every relationship, every career path, everything, because it's how they identify. And it's actually pretty natural because the soul, like this thing hurts so bad that we actually have to keep coming back to it because something on us needs to know why it's there. It's not even a bad thing that it's there. It's actually there so that we can die and be reborn. Because of course, we're naturally going to just morph to our environment. Naturally, right? Like if you're in the forest and your mom and your dad carries water and your mom weaves, like you're going to carry water and weave. If you grow up in a suburb and your parents are like, on computers, like you're going to go to public school and you're going to be on your iPad and you're going to know technology inside and out. Like you just become your environment. So this nature nurture thing really becomes this intertwined soup concoction that we get to play with. And it is a hard thing to get out of the victim mindset, but it is possible.
It definitely is. Hey, with that, we got to take our first break real quick. We'll be back in a couple minutes here. I'll see you soon.
Solid.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
It's the problem no one wants to talk about, the middle child of driver safety. In the time of doing everything in the car with 3 screens and a surround sound symphony sending you somewhere sunny, driving takes the back seat to swiping and replying. And while you're eating and taking a sip from your drink, more than 14% of fatal and injury crashes are being caused by distracted driving. This is distracted driving for real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back. Are you here, Jojo? Are you still there? I think he might have stepped out for a minute. Is his camera on?
Yeah, we here.
Okay. Hey, Brienne's got a quick question for you.
Hit me.
What's up, JoJo? It's Brian. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. I have a question about, how you're really hammering in about self-actualization and like being kind of like being on the outs of like a football world for a lot of people watching this. How do you feel like you came to your self-actualization, like when it came to football for you?
Absolutely, man. It came through my injuries, thank God.
Mm.
And that's, for a lot of people, I've heard that same kind of self-realization where, it presented itself through the injuries. And thankfully, I was able to actually work through those. And that self-realization led to more ball and more life, which is, I think, that so in some of its forms, that's what it does.
Yeah.
But then once I did it, 3 years in the league, I'm now at another point where, I've had to, you really got to do that. It's a daily practice. It's a yearly thing. And at this point, I'm so detached from football being this, how I identify myself, how I see my self-worth, where I feel loved, where I feel praised, where I feel worthy. And that has taken a lot of work. And that's a daily yearning.
Yeah.
So like the first day I woke up feeling that, like, I didn't feel like I found it.
So do you feel like you practice a routine of thankfulness now?
Absolutely. You are what you repeatedly do. You are what you repeatedly think. And as a man thinketh, he becomes it. So a gratitude practice is a no-brainer. Like, you really got to start feeding your subconscious mind like the things that you want to hear. If you want a plant to grow, you put it next to the window so it can get the sunlight. And funny enough, it actually will grow towards the sun. So we're gonna grow towards the things and where we're watered and where we receive nutrients. So it's all about, my mom, love her to death. She played, one of the best things she did for my brother and I was she played us Mozart before we go to bed. And just, there's something about that with the brain waves and the keys, just like helping the brain, just assisting the brain, creating the environment for my brain to just do what it naturally does. So it's constantly, right, being a conscious creator in our life starts with creating our environment, right? Like, I carry my own water around everywhere I go. This spring water is alive, like straight from the earth. It's not dead and doesn't have millions of microplastics in it. Like, this is something I care about. This is something I've become aware of, I've identified as important to me, and something I've mobilized and taken action on. You won't catch me drinking out of plastic water. Not because, I think less of people that do, but because this matters to me. So we will prioritize things that matter to us. And we're not taught how to prioritize ourselves. And we're also taught and we're shown we're shown how to be people pleasers. We're shown how to keep it all together for the greater good. We're shown how to put our feelings aside to just keep going. We're shown how to be workaholics. We're shown how to be addicts. We're shown how to be emotionally evasive. We're shown how to be in nuclear families. We're shown how to have emotional avoidance. Like, these are the things we've been modeled. And we really have to have like an immense amount of grace and acceptance and an awareness of that if we want any chance to change, actually.
And what they don't tell you is what's actually best for the people around you is for you to be the best yourself possible. And you can't do that being a people pleaser, being not showing up the best that you can show up just to please other people or to pander to people in your environment. Obviously, like there has to be some sort of harmony and cohesion, but if you're doing that and you're sacrificing yourself in the process, you're actually not helping the people around you at all. The only way that you can truly help the people around you the most is if you're the best version of yourself possible and you're showing up as the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and just spoil it for you. Take you right to the root. I'm going to take you right to the root. This
for it.
all stems from the subconscious belief of original sin. This all
Adam and
stems
Eve.
from the subconscious belief that we are inherently less than and scarce, lack,
Mhm.
that we're inherently bad. And when we inherently believe that we don't have the love for ourselves that we need, deserve, and feel worthy of, then we have no choice then to outsource it. Right? And that's the program that's been modeled to us. Is the generation before us, this generation, their parents were coming off of World War II. We're coming off of all these traumatic things where nobody could slow down and act like, hey, why are we doing what we're doing? They were so bought into the propaganda and their parents being like literally over at war.
Literally.
Like, yeah,
Survival. Like when you're in survival mode, it's different.
we have the gift as this generation to be a step back and to really see the systems and structures in place that are controlling us, that are limiting our ability to be human beings.
There
That's
is a
why
lot of
every
there.
single person is gifted a social security number when they're given here. Like, they're
Mhm.
not hiding it. They are not hiding it. Like, writing's on the wall. Like, what game? And it's all just a game. This is your life. And we ultimately create the games that we play.
Mhm.
If you want to be mad at somebody and you have anger in your heart, you'll find any reason to get mad.
That's a very good point.
Right? Like,
Yes.
and you'll actually be attracting that person who's going to cut you off on the road, that person who's not going to hold the door for you, that person who's going to spill their coffee on you. Like, you're attracting it.
Mhm.
If you're looking at the world like everything's happening for me, like, it's all about the interpretation. Like, we
And so
can't
many things,
control. Go ahead.
so many of those things to me, the getting caught off on the road, the spilling the coffee, those little inconveniences that we come across in life.
Yeah.
When those are happening and you're on a mission or you're on some sort of spiritual or self mission where you're trying to go accomplish something or you're trying to do something and you're really focused on something in life, those little things that happen to me, they really don't affect you. It's like, oh, okay, I spilled some coffee, I'll get a new shirt. You're not going to be mad about it the rest of the day, but it's when you're living life without that purpose, without that direction that you're going in, that's when those things I think stew. Where if you're living life the right way, those things brush off and you don't even think about them.
It like emanates like because those little things, when you have a purpose, those little things won't mean anything. But when you feel like you're kind of just doing life to do life, those little things start becoming like this big pyramid that you carry around like you're across the bear,
100%.
Yo, what's the difference between comparison and inspiration?
The difference between comparison and inspiration is I feel like you could go a few different directions with this, but just off the top of my head, my gut's telling me to say inspiration is something that's positive, something that you want to work towards, and comparison is something negative where you see someone as a threat or you see someone um as it's more of a negative light than a positive, whereas inspiration is something that you want to aspire to be.
Absolutely. I would say inspiration is you're inspired because you see yourself in the other person and you see their success is your success.
Mm-hmm.
Their love is your love. Their
Right.
joy is your joy.
Right.
Comparison sees it as they have something I don't.
Mm-hmm. More scarcity, more they have something that if they have it, I can't have it. Whereas
Exactly.
inspiration is they have it, but I can get it too.
Inspiration's abundant, comparison is scarce.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that comes back to our disposition. in life with the creator? Like, are we looking to be inspired? Are we living to be inspired? Are we living to inspire? And allow that, and allow love, and allow that to fuel our evolution, versus like this game of comparison and like all these versions of ourselves we think we have to become to like feel the things that like we can actually feel if we just took the time to sit with ourselves, to know thyself. It's a really upside down world that we live in, and
Crazy
I
world.
really believe that like this is the generation that like is here to change that. It's why we're having these conversations. It's why you're doing this podcast. It's why you're getting into coaching, right? You're in coaching because you're here to give them what you have to offer. You're here to inspire them. You're here to guide them and give them the tools on the next level that you receive them at. Like that's the
Completely.
circle of life, man.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Like, it's all about not judging ourselves for what we're doing.
Yeah, and I just learned so many lessons the hard way. Man. Like I just learned every lesson that I learned along my journey, I had to learn the hard way.
Why do you think that is?
And to kind of piggyback on, double back on that question, do you feel like other people need to learn lessons kind of the similar way as you did?
Okay, so there's two questions there. Why do I think that is? I think that. Why do I think I learned every lesson the hard way? I think I was put on this earth to learn those lessons so other people don't have to. And I'm not sure exactly why. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't have a good answer for why I had to learn all those lessons the hard way. I'm somebody, I like to kind of feel things out. I like to use my instincts. I like to try things without maybe proper guidance, and kind of feel things out. And a lot of times when I was younger, I was kind of doing it blind, doing it without awareness of what I was doing. So I was just kind of like trying things, feeling things. And whether it's injuries, whether it's taking a wrong turn, doing things that that took me the wrong direction, those things, I feel like I had to go that direction in order to feel those things out, because I wanted to be able to have my own roadmap, and I was somebody that I didn't want to just follow somebody else's roadmap. Like I didn't want to just follow somebody else's plan for me. I wanted to figure things out. And in order to do that, I kind of had to just trip over a lot of stuff and figure it out on my own. And I've had a lot of great people and a lot of great mentors and a lot of people that have given me great advice. But at the end of the day, like I've made my own decisions. And by doing that, I had to figure out how to make decisions. And in order to make those good decisions now that I can make, and obviously I'm not making all good decisions, but in order to get that wisdom, you have to trip over certain things and not do everything right the first time. And to answer the second question about, is it important for kids to learn things the hard way? Yeah, for sure. I think that as leaders or as a coach or as a parent or as somebody that's giving guidance, you can provide, like, it's almost like in bowling, you can provide some bumpers, but you're not going to just straight track them through, because they're not going to be able to be themselves. Like you can provide some bumpers. Like if they're going off the rails, you can go, hey, get back, or help them out. But yes, everybody's going to have to learn lessons the hard way for sure. But if I can pass some of the things on that I've learned and help kids out, not have to learn certain things the hard way, that's why I want to do what I'm going to do. Yeah. A clearer path. Does that answer the question?
Oh, we just lost Jojo, I think.
We lost Jojo.
We can go to break though. It's due for a break anyway.
It's due for a break. Yeah, let's take a break while he gets back on.
Break.
All right, let's take a quick break. It's 6:44. We're gonna come back in about 2-3 minutes. Hopefully Jojo will be back on. We'll see you soon.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K, or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th. Start your engines, race fans. Race season at Eagle Raceway officially starts this Friday and Saturday. Friday, April 18th and Saturday, April 19th is the Icebreaker Challenge, presented by Stop and Shop and Auto Transmatic at Eagle Raceway. Both days feature Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, and A1 Iron stock cars. Friday also features Valentino's Hobby Stocks. Saturday will feature Nebraska Septic Sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city, with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's All Things Youth Football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring has arrived, the temperatures are rising, and it's time to get your equipment ready for the season. Landmark Implement has high-quality used John Deere planters, sprayers, and tractors, priced to move and ready to work for you. Take advantage of unbeatable deals and flexible financing to upgrade your operation without stretching your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or browse our full inventory online at landmarkimp.com. Before these deals are done, experience the Landmark difference.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
This is Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam. As big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena April 18th through 19th.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back for one last. This is gonna be a 10-minute segment, Jake. We got 10 minutes left. All right, Jojo, we lost you back there. Are you with us again?
Yeah, we're locked and loaded, baby.
All right, we're locked and loaded. When did we lose you? Was I talking?
Nah, we good. Y'all cut right to commercial like afterwards.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was time anyway. We got a 10-minute segment left. So you have anything to add to learning lessons the hard way, what we were talking about?
Oh man. Yeah, that's the whole thing of reframing of like even what the hard way is, and it just becomes the way.
Mhm.
and you start late, and you can get in this space where you don't even label your experience as good or bad, right or wrong, and you just start to have it, and that's just a whole nother level.
Mhm.
One thing I did kind of want to bring into this space was your guys' thoughts on the difference between pressure versus presence when it comes to performing.
To sum up my thoughts that are going through my head, I would say pressure is external and presence is internal. Where pressure is something that's coming from the outside,
Yeah.
and like of expectations of people watching you, of weight on your shoulders, whereas presence is something that comes from inside, where you're looking in outward.
I mean, I would say pressure is like to kind of piggyback off that, like it's very external. Like it's people putting all these expectations on your shoulders. And to be present is to be in that moment and to be kind of locked in on like what you need. I feel like that's how I like differ the two.
Yeah, is pressure other people's expectations though?
I think it stems from other people's expectations. We can put pressure on ourselves for sure, but it probably stems from other people's expectations of us. Because the reality of it is that when you get into a situation where you are a leader or you are a person with a lot of people watching you and have your performance, whether it's as a coach or whether it's a player, your performance, the success of a team or the success of a city or the success of whatever group of people rides on your performance. That's where I think pressure comes from.
Yeah.
Where you have, say it's a head coach of a football team. His performance as a head coach has hundreds of, at least dozens of families' income riding on it.
Yeah.
Or that's
That's
where I think
that
that's
sounds more like that, but that can be interpreted as responsibility
I see that.
rather than pressure.
I guess maybe then I think pressure can be self put on, I guess. Like you can apply that pressure as much as possible, but I guess in like the framing of the question, I think majority of pressure can come from outside noises that become inside voices.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think that's spot on.
Yeah.
What is your take on it?
Yeah, how do you view that?
Yeah. No, obviously from my reframes, like I really think that pressure, like it's the illusion that other people put pressure, like these expectations, like yes, they do. But ultimately we have to accept them for ourselves. And as a kid, we don't understand that yet. Like we just do. But then as we grow and we understand what sovereignty is, like we actually have to unhook those expectations that other people put in us, but it's our responsibility to unhook them. So when we do that, right, our power then comes back to us, which is what presence is. Presence is present moment power versus this pressure of like something else has this power over me. Something else has this hook in me, right? For good, bad, or indifferent, but they're making me feel this way, think this way, right? Versus the embodiment of like, no, this is my responsibility. This is what I chose to do. This is what I get to do, like amidst all of it. And that's, it's little things like that that can shift our whole experience.
That reframe.
Yes.
All right. So while I got you on the show, I imagine some of my guys are watching or will watch, some of my players over at Iowa Western. I'm wondering if you have any advice, anything that they could take with them that can help them on their journey, because they're trying to go. They've got 2 years at junior college and they're trying to get to a Division I school. Do you have any nuggets of wisdom for those guys?
Yeah, man, who you are off the field is who you are on the field. You don't just step on that field and put on a superhero cape and become something else. If you're making irrational decisions, if you're making irresponsible decisions off the field, if you're not disciplined within your own self, like as soon as there's quote unquote pressure or there's responsibility now, right? Those same things are going to show up. So the best thing you can do for your football career is evolve as a man, period.
Yeah.
And that they're symbiotic with one another. The more you grow up as a man, the better you'll become at football.
Agreed.
And men that are gifted athletes that go all the way to the top but never develop from boys to men, always fuse out, and it's always short-lived, and it never lasts. And it's only the people that are really able to evolve into their manhood, into their embodiment, into their truth, right? Football works out or not, like, you're gonna be all right.
100%. I think football does expose who you really are. The spotlight, the brighter the spotlight is, exposes who you really are on the inside.
Definitely.
All right.
As within, so without, as above, so below, man.
That's great advice for those guys.
It's already been said.
Mm-hmm.
It's for us to understand, for us to meditate on, and for us to know.
Mm-hmm. So as kids that are starting their journey, trying to come up, how would you go about approaching that off the field? Figuring out who you are, figuring out how you want to go about your day and live your life. How would you approach that if you were in that position?
Oh man, I just wouldn't say no. I wouldn't put a limit on them. I'd get out of their way, and I would help them get out of their own way. And I sure wouldn't be imposing any limitations or projections on them. And I'd be invoking curiosity, invoking adventure, invoking the questions,
Mm-hmm.
and also like encouraging their process, not encouraging their achievement. Right? Like they draw a picture and like, oh, that looks so good. Oh, like mommy said that's good. So I'm like, hey, why'd you use the color pink?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like two different questions, two different interactions. Like the feedback loop is completely different. Like when we don't condition our kids to be like achievement oriented and we allow them like their gifts and their intuition and God within them to lead them, like, man, watch out. Like we're all creators, we're all children of God. Like we all have that unique footprint, that unique inner knowing, that unique Holy Spirit within us, that only us is here can mobilize it. Nobody else can do it for us. And that's what makes it beautiful.
So making it about what you're actually doing rather than what you're trying to get done.
How you're doing it, absolutely.
How you're doing that thing. How you show up in that process, how you go about that minute to minute, day to day, rather than I have this goal and that's what I'm doing. It's
and
how do I
enjoy the moment, not for what it is, but for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't enjoy who you are, like there's no better time than now to take the necessary action, to let go of that thing, to ask for forgiveness, to have humility and compassion,
Mm-hmm.
and just let it out, man. You ain't got to have it all together all the time. Like, imagine if the clouds held on to every rainstorm ever. It'd be pretty congested up there. I feel like at this point we'd never see the sun.
Never.
Like clouds are supposed to rain. Like we're emotional beings. We're supposed to feel our emotions.
That's a good quote, actually. Clouds are supposed to rain. I think that's a good spot to end the show. I got the music playing, so Jake's telling me we need to end the show, but that's a good spot to end it at. Hey, this was fun, man. We got to do this one again. This was a blast.
We can.
All right, appreciate you coming on. I'll see you later.
All righty.